Who feels that Gen Z is more fragile than previous generations? Raise your hand. Yeah. Do you think they're more sensitive, more fragile? You said you think that your generation is much more open. Why are comedians not even willing to come on college campuses anymore? Because they're scared to death they're going to say something that offends.
It's not just an impression. I mean, polling shows you what Generation Z thinks of concepts like free speech or freedom of expression, and they think things like hate speech need to be stopped. And that's one of the lessons they're learning wrong from history. There's a lot that we can take from past generations that they actually got right, and free speech is definitely one of those things, because progress that Gen Z cares about can only happen when you have free speech.
What do you want to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I think that there's a misconception that cancel culture or social repercussions is something new. It's not. I mean, we saw the Chicks, who were formerly known as the Dixie Chicks. I believe that they criticized the war on terror, and there were parties to burn their CDs and radio stopped playing their music. Right. So social repercussions have always existed. I think that just as a generation, we're becoming more aware of how bigotry, even if it's in the form of a joke, really negatively impacts people. And so I think that while social repercussions are nothing new, what we penalize people for saying is changing. And I think that that's a positive thing.
The stereotypes used in comedic stand-up is just simply like not okay anymore. So you can say whatever you want, but you need to also be ready for like the repercussions of what you say.
Okay, you're not free to say whatever you want if you get fired for an off-color joke.
Okay,
How will you feel when it's you who's out of step with the social mores of the day?
Okay, and then you get the repercussions of what you said.
I think you're still acting like this is something new, though. People have been fired.
Well, I'm not, but two wrongs don't make a right,
People have been fired for things that they've said for forever. But now we're seeing an era where if you're disrespectful or bigoted towards someone, you get fired for that. I don't see that as a bad thing.
But it's a lot more that's been caught up.
The point is, the threshold has really gotten low. Yes. That it happens much more. What do you want to say?
I think that
I don't think we're fragile.
I don't think Generation Z is fragile.
All.
I don't think they're fragile at all. Are they more sensitive about things? That could be argued. We could be discussed that. That's true. But I also think part of that sensitivity, we're just seeing it more because you're out there on social media more.
Right.
So we're seeing more of who you are. And I think that's a great thing. Mm-hmm. Generation Z, they are going to be 30% of the workforce in less than 10 years. So the fact that they want to talk about mental health, they want to freely express how they feel, if they don't like what somebody has to say, we just can't discount that, because they are going to be a big part of the workforce. They're going to be, the future politicians, the future CEOs. Right. So understanding them and giving them a solid foundation to move forward, move on, that's important.
Greg, do you think we're shaping them to be more fragile?
In the data, yes. I mean, the rates of depression, we're talking about, 112% increase in major depression for girls, 109% for boys. Something very serious is going on. And I really want to address the idea that what's going on currently with regard to free speech is in any way normal. We checked our latest data on attempts to get professors canceled on campus. It's 770. It involves over 40 tenured professors getting fired. You didn't have these kind of numbers even during McCarthyism. So the idea that this is just business as usual is just wrong. They're going to be studying this in 100 years and be like, what on earth happened? And that's the thing. It's like we're whispering into people's ears, by the way, you can't really handle life on your own, and if you hear things or are confronted with things that really bother you, you'll be permanently damaged. It's not that young people are not naturally fragile, but the messages, particularly they're giving them on college campuses, make them feel fragile.
I feel like we're just wanting to be heard, and I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong. I don't think that makes us fragile. I just think we want to be heard.
I do think we've taken it a little bit too far, because in past generations, mental health, therapy, these things were stigmatized, and that literally got people killed. They didn't get the care they need. But nowadays, it's almost so far to the other extreme that it can be trendy or cool or get you attention to have a disorder, to have something. We've literally seen massive TikTokers busted for faking different mental illnesses. That's when you know you're valorizing the wrong things.
But I don't think that affects the general Gen Z masses that are going on TikTok and having their feelings hurt. If you hurt my feelings and I post a video that my feelings are hurt and I see Gen Zers caring, and then there's that one person that's like, oh, get over it. Okay, that's fine. But it's like, I feel like my generation has more people just being like, you know what, like this did hurt my feelings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.